Have you ever sent an email and, like a second later, just completely regretted it? Or maybe you've stared at a blank page trying to figure out how to make your resume actually stand out from the pile. Well, in the professional world, the way you write can seriously make or break your career. So in this explainer, we're going to break down how to write for real impact, making sure your ideas always land.
I love this quote from E.B. White. It's basically our North Star for this whole discussion. It's such a simple but powerful idea. When you're writing for work, clarity is absolutely everything. We're going to see how this one single principle applies to, well, everything, from just a single sentence all the way up to a complex business analysis.
So here's our game plan. First, we're going to start with the most important rule in professional writing: keep it simple. Then we'll take that rule and apply it to your resume, which is probably the most important document in your job search. After that, we'll get into the real nitty-gritty of sentence structure, and finally, we'll see how all of these skills come together in the world of business analysis.
All right, first up, the art of simplicity. This is where we're going to unpack why clear, straight-to-the-point writing is basically your secret weapon in the professional world. You know, I once had a boss who just loved to use these big, fancy words. The only problem was nobody ever really knew what he was talking about. His emails were a masterclass in confusion. And the lesson there? Your goal isn't to show off your vocabulary. It's to be understood. Clear communication is what actually gets things done. And that leads us right into the topic of jargon. Look, every industry has its own shorthand, its own lingo, which is totally fine when you're talking to other insiders. But the second your audience includes someone from another department or another company, or even just someone with a different background, that jargon becomes a huge wall. Okay, just look at the slide. It perfectly illustrates the point. The jargon-filled sentence on the left might sound smart to a finance expert, sure, but the clear and simple version on the right, everybody gets that. Instantly. That's the kind of power we're aiming for. All right, let's talk resumes. This is where the rubber really meets the road. All those principles of clarity and simplicity we were just talking about, well, now we're going to put them to the test. I mean, think about it. Your resume is basically your professional handshake. It's often the only thing a hiring manager sees before deciding if they even want to talk to you. Every single detail matters. So let's get into some real talk. First, consistency. Your formatting needs to be clean, your verb tenses have to match. Second, proofread, and then proofread again. I'm serious, a single typo can be a deal breaker. Third, triple check your contact info. You don't want to miss an interview call because you typed your own phone number wrong. Fourth, please use a professional email address. And finally, tailor your resume to the job. This is a big one. A generic resume is a one-way ticket to the no pile. Okay, next up, quantify your achievements. Don't just say you were a team player. Show it. Increased team productivity by 15%. See? That's what grabs a hiring manager's attention. Also, don't waste precious space listing obvious skills. It's 2024, everyone knows how to use Microsoft Office. Keep the design simple, use a font that's easy to read, and please, for the love of all that is holy, name your files something other than resume.docx. All right, let's pull back and get to basics for a minute. Everything we've talked about, from simple emails to that perfect resume, it's all built on one thing: the complete sentence. It really is the foundation of clear communication. So, what actually makes a sentence complete? It needs these three things: a subject, so who or what the sentence is about, a predicate, which is just the verb or the action, and it has to express a complete thought. It's really as simple as that. And the opposite of that is a sentence fragment. This is just an incomplete thought that's missing one of those key pieces. In any kind of formal writing, fragments can make your work look really sloppy and, frankly, just confusing. And this shows the difference brilliantly. The quarterly report on the CEO's desk. What about it? It just kind of hangs there, right? But by simply adding one little verb, we turn it into a complete, clear sentence. It's often a really simple fix. So how do you avoid these things? Okay, here's my favorite trick. Read your writing out loud. Seriously, your ear will catch the incomplete thoughts. If it sounds weird when you say it, it's probably wrong. Also, just quickly check every sentence for a subject and a verb, and be on the lookout for words like because or while at the start of a sentence. They are often the culprits. Okay, now let's scale way up. We're going to see how these fundamental skills, simplicity, structure, complete sentences, all get applied to a much more complex task: business analysis. A perfect example of this is the market trend case study. This is where you do a really deep dive into a specific trend. Let's say the rise of plant-based foods, and you analyze how a specific company has responded to it. The goal is to find valuable, repeatable lessons. And here's the crucial point. The goal isn't just to describe what's happening. The real value is in turning those observations into what we call actionable insights. That means clear, specific strategies that a business can actually go out and implement.
So, how do you actually write a case study? Well, it's basically a 6-step process. First, you spot a trend. Then you pick a company to study. You analyze their strategy, you see how it all played out, and then you pull out the key takeaways. Finally, you come up with your own recommendations. It's kind of like a detective story, and you're the detective. And why does any of this matter? Well, because case studies help you learn from the real world, not just from a textbook. They help you anticipate risks by seeing how others handle them. They can spark new ideas for innovation, and they help you make way smarter decisions about where to invest your time and money. So, as we start to wrap up, you can see how it all connects, right? Whether you're choosing just a single word, writing one sentence, or building out a complex case study, the guiding principles, they never change. You always want to prioritize clarity, simplicity, and a good logical structure. At the end of the day, powerful writing isn't about using fancy words or complicated sentences. It's really about clear thinking. And that is a skill that will pay off for the rest of your career.